Hi guys, welcome back to The Drawing Life. I am your host Ian, and as I was scrolling through my list of videos, topics and everything, I thought it would be fun to do another fan art video, and what other than to do a fan art of Star Wars yet again. I believe the last time, let me go find my last Star Wars video. Let's see, well, I think it was that chibi vlog about Star Wars. I could be wrong. But what better fan art to do than R2-D2, the very famous droid that comes up in A New Hope, the one that shows the hologram of Princess Leia, and he's one of the only characters that's in all of the Star Wars films from 1 to 8. I'm not sure if he's in the spin-offs. I haven't watched the Solo movie yet, but I think it would be a perfect thing to do, R2-D2. And I'm going to start off by doing some quick things in time-lapse, but before we get to that, I'd like to explain what I have here. I have this little box. I have this box that's like this rectangular box that measures, if I go to my ruler, it measures exactly 4 inches. But there's this line that cuts here around a little bit after the 1 inch point, so you can go ahead and do that. But for now, I'm gonna go on and do some quick things in time lapse, and we'll be right back. So I find that doing these box and then going towards circle is a very good way of doing a perfect circle. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is sort of a semi-circle, that I'm doing. I will, after I erase the guidelines later, delete, so as to speak, or erase the guidelines. But for now, I'm going to keep it like that. I'm going to go through a little bit of a real-time drawing here. And what I have here is I'm going to bring out my ruler again. And just around, let's say there, somewhere around the bottom, put a line straight across. I should have done this earlier, sorry about that. But yeah, that's what you do. And then around the middle here, I'm gonna bring out the ruler again. Go a little bit of a slanting down line, like that. And I know this isn't perfect, so I'm gonna have to go redo it. Yes, even professional artists make mistakes, and I am not a professional, but yes, that's what I'm gonna be doing here. I just keep in mind, I am not a professional artist. I just like to draw, but I'm just here to tell you that even the professional artists, no matter how good they are, they will always make mistakes. So if you make mistakes, keep in mind that we out there, we make mistakes too. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw one more of this. I think I placed it a little bit too there, so yeah, I think that looks a little bit better. And I'm going to I've already gone like 1 minute and 40 seconds on this section alone, so I'm gonna have to go back in time lapse and finish off some of this. But for now, I'm gonna just draw this. Hold on a second while I do the actual things here. Sort of goes slanted. Then there's these 2 lines that go like completely straight. Then there's another line that goes like that, basically. So yes, I'm gonna go back into time lapse and do a few more things, and I'll be right back. Okay, so quite a lot done there. I'm gonna explain what I've done. I've done this box. I've tried very hard to try to keep it so that it looks like this entire thing is going circular. This thing is not a flat semicircle. It's more of a it's like a dome, basically. And I'm trying to make this look like it's made of a dome. This is a square here, sort of a square. Then this is this vertical rectangle here. Then another rectangle with 2 smaller rectangles inside it, a vertical rectangle, then 2 horizontal rectangles inside. You know what, let me refocus. Okay, so hopefully now you can see a little bit better. What I've done here is I've done another smaller rectangle down here. Then I've drawn this another rectangle, this horizontal rectangle with a circle, which we are going to color in later. Then I've drawn this sort of an outer circle then a smaller circle in there, then like 3 vertical rectangles. So you can stop the video and follow along if you want to draw something like that. But right now, what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to what I did do here is I drew this like a it's almost like a if I draw these lines right like that, it'll become like a rectangle with a triangle on the side, then a smaller rectangle on the side of it here with 2 little notches cut into it. If you look very closely at the R2-D2 thing, there will be 2 little notches in there. Then there's this like I don't know, it's like scope, like a scope sort of thing, and it's like a ball in here. I'm gonna refine that a little bit more later. This is just the stage in which I do the sketching, so we'll refine that later. But for now, I'm gonna go back into time lapse and start to draw a little bit more of the body, which is this area. Okay, so I've sort of built up the inside of this. Before it was blank, now I covered it with squares. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so I could talk to you about the inside. First, there's this rectangle here, and keep in mind that this line goes like it's sort of like everything rests. Everything from there rests on top of this. So it's like this this vertical rectangle here. Then we have this horizontal rectangle right here, this huge one. I'm gonna add some later. I'm gonna add some stuff into it, but we won't worry about that for now. We're gonna put another rectangle here, another smaller version of this basically. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these lines here. Then this vertical rectangle right here, another bigger vertical rectangle with 2 little, I don't know, like half squares, half circles kind of things. Inside, we'll also add some things in there later, but for now we won't worry about that either. Then we take, then we do another identical thing to this. Only this time there will be a slightly smaller rectangle in here, as is the case with this right here. Same thing over here, another vertical rectangle inside the rectangle. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna draw one of this squarish rectangles that goes just about here, just around the halfway point of this rectangle, like that. Then one horizontal rectangle that rests that's about the its length is just about the width of this. Then another thing just the same, only its length is the width of this. Then I'm sorry, I'm not being very clear here, but I think you can pause and maybe you could make out what I'm trying to say here. But basically what I'm trying to say is I need to go back into time lapse soon. And then there's another one of this. This sort of looks like a can of soda or whatever, but I'm gonna continue adding some details, more squares and such. Maybe start building in these things here. Let me do this a little bit in real time. 1, 2, 3. Then behind there's like 2 little doors, things like that. Then over here there's 2 of these doors again, only this time there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these things in there. Well, I think it's time for me to go back into the time lapse. This video is taking a little bit longer than I expected, but I'm going to go back into time lapse and finish some of these things up. Okay, so some very complicated things here. What happens is I've drawn 2 of these vertical rectangles, then another of a little bit larger vertical rectangle. Then there's this like squarish thing here with a circle in it with a plus sign in it that's sort of curved at the edges. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah. Then there's a horizontal rectangle split in 2. One side is shaded. Then a little squares inside with a little ramp going up, basically. I don't even know what that is for. I'm not exactly a Star Wars whiz, but I do like all this crazy details that they put into R2-D2. But I think it is time to move on to the legs. I'm just going to teach you how to draw one of them, then I'm going to do the other one in time-lapse. So let's go into time-lapse. I'll finish one of the legs. One of the legs is sort of a slower process. Then I'll do the other leg in time-lapse. So let's do that. Okay, so what I've basically done is at this point here where the dome ends, I just extended it a little bit to become one huge vertical rectangle. Then I split it around here past the halfway point, a little bit more to the left, and then I split the left part in this in half. I'm gonna shade in this area. Then I put this square here. There's more stuff to be done over on this side, but I'll just keep that for now. Then there's this end where like it's sort of where it just splits and it continues this shaded part. It's just like split into two. I don't know why they did that. But then there's this thing that goes down a little bit like that basically, and then I'm gonna add this square here. Then yeah, this drawing is actually quite complicated. I hadn't, but that's all the fun of it. I mean, you study the drawing, and then you find all this interesting details that they put in there, like this thing, for example, right here that I'm doing down here. Then there's like, it goes like that. Boy, I'm not getting enough of the illustration in. It goes like that. Don't worry about this line. I just kept it there. I aimed at the wrong place, and then I put another line down here like that. From there, I put like this curved thing that goes onto this line right here. Okay, like that. Then it's sort of interconnected with this. Then I make two of these lines right here, and now I think that's basically all, except I still need to add this point right here like that. It goes like this, then sort of like that, then another one like sort of like that. I'm not following completely, but yeah, that's I think you get the idea of what it is. That's one leg to go, another leg to go, and we'll be done with the pencils. Okay, so just two more things and we'll be about done with the pencils. One is that I'm going to make this a little bit more away from this guideline right here, because the leg really is not attached to the body. It can move around like that. So I'm gonna just extend it away a little bit, like so, so that it will be sort of like attached to the body in like this fashion, with like, so you can like move this way, you know how there's like this leg attached in there somewhere. But I think it is time to move on to the final part of the pencils, which is to add this little detail here, one little box like that. I saved this for last because this looked the most interesting. Then I'm gonna put like this slanted line, then another slanted line. They're both going away from each other. Then they come back to each other a little bit like that. Then they're folded like they go like sort of like that. Then I put this like box, this, and then it comes back again to each other, and then like that. And I'm gonna repeat that process one more time, only it's a little bit more different. This time it goes off like two parallel lines connected on the end, then like two lines going away from each other. Then it continues to become a parallel line when it stops like that. Then it goes on to like that, and then it goes down again. So it's like, wait, no, I'm sorry, I'm not doing it correctly. I'm looking at the photo. I'm looking at the reference here that I'm doing. It goes up. It goes up, then down a little bit. So like this. Up, this way, that way. And there we go. You have completed the pencils, and you can leave it as is. You can erase the guidelines if you want to, but I think what I'm going to do right now is start the inking, and I'm gonna pull out my inking tools. Let's see what we've got. I'm gonna pull out number one. I'm gonna use a Micron Pigma, which is my usual thing. But I nowadays I don't usually use the 08 a lot anymore. I'm gonna be using 2 microns today. Number one is the 01. This is the 01 micron. The second is the 005. This is a very, very fine. This is for the very, very fine lines that I will put for these boxes. And I'll explain a little bit about what I did. But for now, I'm gonna finish all the inking. We'll be right back. Okay, so I finished up that, and you know, one thing is I've actually forgot something pretty something pretty obvious, which is these little pipes, no, not pipes, wires that extend around to this little area, you know, like that. They have the little pipes that why do I keep saying pipes? Sorry. The wires, the little wires that stick out that go onto these areas. I didn't make this so detailed that it was actually like that. So I was initially gonna say, yeah, forget it. I've already passed the pencil stage. But this is a pretty obvious mistake. So I just thought to add it in there. But now I'm gonna pull out some markers. Let's see what markers we're gonna use today. I'm gonna be using a mixture of brands. As I usually do. I'm going to pull out, let's see if I can find it. Sorry about this, I need to find my marker for a second. I'll be right back. Alright, sorry about that. I needed to find my Prismacolor marker. This is a Prismacolor Premier. Ultramarine is what I see here on the screen. And what I'm going to do, I'm not going to be doing all of this real time. I'm just going to be putting in some of this blue, which I think is really fitting for this kind of drawing, especially R2-D2. He's got all the deep blues and such, and yeah. And I'm just using the bullet tip here, and I think I'm gonna do all this in time lapse. I'll be right back with some final words about the colors and everything, and yeah. So there's my R2-D2 drawing. I'm going to finish up all the coloring, and we'll be right back. Lo and behold, I forgot one more thing in the pencils. Not very surprising, Ian. Not very surprising at all, the way you've been acting in this video. One more thing is the blue parts in his dome. And that's just you know, these things that will later color blue. And then one more thing is this thing sticking out. I don't even know what that is, but I'm just gonna quickly ink that. Otherwise we'll probably be done. I have one more trick under my sleeve that I do want to try out later, after all this coloring is finished. I still have a few minor things to do regarding this drawing, but I'm just gonna quickly fill that in right there. The blue parts. I can't. Sorry, this might be going out because I can't really see. Drawing. I'm gonna turn over here to see it. Yeah, that's better. Okay. With the marker. Now I'm gonna go grab. Let's see if I can find it real quick. A grayish kind of marker that I'm gonna put in here for that, like that, over there too, over here, and over here. Then I'm also gonna put it you know, like some dirtiness around in here and such. I got a little bit of a darker gray marker, so that's why it's looks a little bit weird. But otherwise, that I think we should be almost finished. I got one more thing to do. Is to take this is a different kind of pencil. This is a 2HB pencil. So I usually use 3H pencil. So today I can smudge it much better. So I can put it as a little bit of a dirtiness on R2-D2. And otherwise, I think we would be finished with today's drawing. Alright, so that's my video on R2-D2. I really hope you enjoyed this, and if you wanna, if you're not sure what videos to watch next, I have a recommendation below. Please subscribe for more videos coming every single week, and turn on that notification bell. It will really help if you don't want to miss any videos at all. Just hit that notification bell. But for now, I want to thank anyone who has bought my book, A Doorway to Magic, my new fantasy novel. Well, it's not exactly new. It's hitting the I think it just hit the 1 month anniversary today, so yes, very exciting there. But I want to thank everyone who has watched this video. I really hope it helped you in some way if you want to draw the R2-D2 or just learn about the details or whatever. But for now, I want to say goodbye, and we'll see you next time.